know your customer. Just know who you're selling to. Whether you're starting partnership ads or whether you're starting meta ads, knowing who your customer is, why they're buying, raison d'etre, just know who they are. As long as you have that, then everything will make more sense.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this e-commerce marketing focused podcast. If you're not familiar with our format, well, we release 5-episode mini-series that dive deep into one e-commerce marketing topic. That could be channels like email or SEO or Facebook ads, or a big topic like acquisition, CRO, or retention. In each episode, new ones released on Wednesdays, I get to interview a different expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you. And then, after each 5-episode mini-series, we take a whole week off to give you time to take action on what you've learned from our experts. At the moment, we are deep in the middle of the meta ads thread. In the first 2 episodes in this mini-series, we covered data and different growth strategies, but now we are all about the creative. So in the last episode, we went deep into hook and hold rates and how to optimize them. This time, we're talking about one specific ad type. It's not really a campaign, it's more a way of creating creative, and it's called the partnership ad. I challenge you to listen to this episode and not immediately find a good reason and a need and the time to go off and start testing this in your business. As our guest will explain in the insider tips, this is a must-do part of your prep for Black Friday that you should be doing right now. And she goes through exactly what they are, how we set them up, how to make the most of them. It's a super exciting new thing on Meta that if you don't already know about it and you're not already testing about it, you do need to know. So make sure you listen right to the end so you find out all about it and we can set you up for success.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
In this episode, I'm chatting with Meta Ads expert Christina Bell. Christina is the head of strategy at Webtopia UK, a performance marketing agency focused on helping high-growth, founder-led D2C brands scale with data, testing, and storytelling. Hello, Christina.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for the intro. Excited to be here and chat with you.
Great to have you, and I love your topic. But before we get into it, how did you get into the world of meta ads?
Well, I feel like most marketers, it all happened around the dreaded COVID times. I actually, based from my accent, I'm actually originally from Australia, and I just finished uni. I'd done a gap year. It was amazing. And then I got this incredible opportunity after my gap year working at a large-scale agency out of Australia. They kind of molded me and taught me everything I knew. And then I was lucky enough to travel to the UK and started working with Webtopia. I was in contact, I suppose, with Ben Dyer, who's the head of growth, and then his brother, who's the CEO, Tris Dyer. Got to know them, got chatting, and then, started working at Webtopia, which has just been just over 2 years now, I think. So yeah, it's absolutely flown by, and I feel like it's, thinking about my career kind of in those early days to where it is now, it's just crazy to see how much the actual platform and also like the creative environment has changed. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been a lot of fun.
And I guess especially a whirlwind, given you're the head of strategy, which means you need to be on top of what's going on at Meta, which is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. We're an agency partner with Meta. So me and my Meta rep, we're like best friends right now. So we speak a lot. We speak a lot because I'm always asking questions, being like, hey, I've heard this. What's going on?
Yeah, there's so many rumors, so many new ideas being triggered by all the new, or not necessarily the new tech the Meta's putting out there, but the way they're shifting things. It must be a fascinating time to be doing your job. I'm quite envious. I'd love to. Anyway, enough of my career regrets.
It's not too late. It's never too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late. Go back to agency land, Chloe. No. Partnership ads. A fascinating part of Meta ads, which kind of, from memory, it's been around for quite a while, but it seems like it's just starting to get people excited. People are just starting to find the ways to leverage this. So can you please explain what it is? Because the word partnership is overused in all our industries, and this is a really specific thing. So what is a partnership ad?
Yes. So, partnership ads today are essentially an ad format, I suppose, within Meta that combines a brand profile or a business profile with a creator profile. And I like to think of it as this like super ad that it creates. So I think what you were explaining before, they've kind of been around a little while. Previously, I guess they whitelisting ads, which is where you do this really roundabout way of kind of going into the back end, getting access to the logins and all of this complicated things. Partnership ads are kind of the cool way to do influencer marketing, I suppose, in 2026. So you run it from your business ad account, but then it also shows on the creator's profile kind of natively as well. So although it is an ad, it's a much more organic approach of doing it. So whenever you see an ad pop up on your feed or wherever it might be, your stories, if it says creator with business or business with creator, or even just like creator and there's a little ad, it's more or less a partnership ad. So I guess it's combining the two. And I think it's becoming super popular at the moment. I know that Meta has invested very heavily into the actual systems behind it and getting it to where it is today. And I know they kind of go on and on about, there's I think it was like a 19% reduction in CPAs if you have partnership ads within your kind of usual ad account. So there's a reason why they're investing so heavily in it. And I think it's now we're starting to see the adopters come through and be like, I'm going to give this a go. And we're doing it a lot for our brands that we work with at Webtopia. So yeah, it's a cool new way, I guess, to present a partnership with your creators.
So on the front end for the user on Instagram or Facebook, it looks like a post from the creator that the influencer that they follow or that's picked up in front of them with something to say it's linked to this brand. But on the back end, you manage it just like you would any other ad, essentially, once you've got it set up.
Yeah. So on the front end, I suppose there's a couple of ways. So it's really the identity in the headers that will give away whether it's a partnership ad or not. So you can either have dynamic identities, so that is both the business and the partner being together, or you can have dynamic, which is where Meta's algorithm will decide for you, or you can just have a single identity, which is just the creator. So there's a couple of ways that I guess it can be presented on the front end, but it's very simple on the front end. It's almost just as simple in the back end as well. So again, what I was saying with kind of the whitelisting ways of working back in the day, it was quite complicated. You have to get access. It was just like a nightmare, and you almost avoided doing any kind of partnerships because you just know there were going to be problems. This is so easy. And I think where it's developed the most is Meta now has a partnership ads hub for you in your business backend. So this is kind of a one-stop shop, I suppose, of getting everything sorted. You can send requests, you get a request approved, you can see requests coming in, like everything is there. So it's as simple as just adding or notifying the creator who you want to partner with, and they'll approve, and then you're pretty much good to go.
Wow, so you don't even have to do, like, I was assuming a barrier to doing this would be needing a vibrant influencer program, and already having a load of relationships that you could go, and can we add on the ad element to our existing agreement? But actually, there's a whole easy place where we can go and start from zero within Meta itself.
Yeah. And this isn't the type of ad format, I suppose, that it's only, business spending $1 million plus and all of that kind of stuff. Like it can be for anyone. And I think this is what Meta really has wanted to push, is that it can be for everything, for everyone. And they really want to make it as simple as possible for everyone to take a step and test it. So yeah, you don't need to have kind of an influencer team that you're working with. Like it could just be yourself kind of getting started. But yeah, it's a lot simpler. And I think honestly, the best thing to do is just kind of dip your toes in and give it a go and start exploring, because don't be afraid to kind of go into there and try it. Just start exploring the platform and seeing what's around and what creators are there as well.
So let's go big and strategic now. Where does this fit within an overall Meta ads account and strategy? Is this something we're doing top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel? Is that the wrong question definition to give you for this? Where does this fit in our overall budget and planning?
So I guess it is an investment. A lot of the time creators, they'll do kind of organic posts and there might be an ad usage cost that goes with it as well. So there is probably a cost investment there. But we do see obviously the returns kind of come from that more or less. I would say where partnership ads fit is across the whole funnel. And it really depends. And this is why it's so important when you're testing partnership ads to really test everything and try and be as broad as possible. Don't just kind of like do one at a time. Test everything, because someone's message might resonate best to someone who is at that product awareness stage, or someone might resonate best when they're ready to buy. So it's really important to make sure that you do, I guess, give it as much opportunity to be tested, just like you would with your BAU ads. I think in terms of the strategy side of things, some things that I would definitely keep an eye on is obviously don't kind of silo it into its own campaign. The best thing about partnership ads, I suppose, is the audience signals that it provides. So not only are you getting data from your own brand signals, but you're also getting it from the creator's audience as well. And this is such an untapped opportunity that the rest of your campaigns and your ads will really want. The pixel wants that. It's hungry for it. So test it like you would any other ad, and test it within the campaigns that you've got running at the moment as well. And we usually find that the algorithm is strong enough to understand what type of customer needs to see that. So whether it's a new customer, an existing, or engaged, if you give it the best opportunity and the best budget to be able to do so, it will deliver it to the right person at the right time.
So we're deploying these new creatives within our existing campaigns rather than having a separate partnership ads campaign. So it's more of a creation strategy than a totally separate campaign strategy, if that makes sense.
100%. And I think like the mindset has definitely shifted for partnership ads. Previously, it was something that people were a bit unsure about. Oh, we'll do 1 and 2 and then we'll see there's going to be gaps. But with your BAU, like let's say that you're running a static ad, you're not going to like run it for a week and then be like, oh, I'm just going to turn it off and, we'll do the next one. Like you will continue testing that ad. Partnership ads are the exact same. And I think in terms of the actual performance side of things, you want it to have a bit of kind of a narrative behind it. So making sure that you're obviously getting creators on a regular basis, you're getting a variety of creators, but you're also testing them against your statics, because there is a time and place obviously for those other ad formats, and they are still really important. Diversity is key. So making sure that you're kind of giving yourself the best chance of success to scale those campaigns by seeing what works. Someone might resonate more with a static. Someone might resonate more with a partnership ad. So having both is going to be really, really valuable.
And what sort of creative are we asking the creator partners to make? So try not to use the word create too many times in one sentence there before everyone goes, wow, what's she doing? What sort of materials we're looking for them to create? Presumably it's video. Is it UGC type video? Is it more kind of influencer style video? What are you seeing working, or is it something you just got to test? What sort of creative are we looking to create here?
Yeah, I think it's really dependent on what your brand's needs are. If you're a brand that's just starting out and you haven't necessarily, started delving into, you've done a brand launch or you're only doing awareness, then the content that the creator will provide is going to be very different to what it will be for a brand who wants quick sales and it's kind of that bottom of funnel messaging. So it's really important to understand what you want to get out of it. I think there is still a strategy. Don't just kind of go into Partnership Ads Hub and just be like, let's do this creator and go crazy. Like you need a strategy and you need to understand who your target market is. But I think as well, in terms of the type of content that works really well, it's definitely the more organic side. One thing that I would probably say is do not send them a script. like line by line, a script of exactly what they have to say. 100% your brand will have certain do's and don'ts that they will need to follow. But the best thing about partners, and I think where we see partners get the most out of them and where we see them perform best, is when they're just being themselves and you're kind of like, this is the opening hook. You take the rest and let us know what you think. And we come back with way less revisions, if any, when it's something that is a little bit more freedom for them rather than like, here's the script, because they become robotic. We want this content to be very organic and very seamlessly fitting into someone's feed, because it is showing the creator's profile at the end of the day. So for their audience, they don't want to be sold to. So I think the biggest thing is like, obviously it does vary depending on the brand and the goals that you're going for, but just, put away the brand guidelines for just a second. Obviously the do's and don'ts are important, but do not go down the rabbit hole of like this specific word and this has to be here and all of that kind of stuff, because I think you're just going to kind of like suffocate them a little bit.
Oh, completely agree with you. It's that thing of you want to set them up to create success for you, because they want you to come back and want more content at the end of the day. So, what are the key things you want them to get right? You want them to get the hook right, so people continue watching, and that you want them to get whatever your call to action is, etc. right? And, describe your, if it was me, I'd want e-commerce spelt small e, big C, small rest of the thing, because that's our brand name for a lot of our stuff, is e-commerce spelt that way. But I'm not going to tell them they have to use this color palette, or they have to speak in this way, or they have to mention this at that point. So you give them that creative freedom to create something good. So I take it we are creating a brief for the creators, not simply going, create us anything. There's a mechanism within the meta setup to enable us to do that whole briefing and responding scenario.
Yeah, you almost want to kind of like feed the creators enough so that they can be inspired, and then let them really take the reins. So you also it's kind of like giving them, I guess, like a bit of a blurb or like a synopsis of like what you're after. And then they can kind of take that as they will. But, at the end of the day, you're really building a partnership with these creators. If you find that a creator performs really well, you want to develop that relationship with them so that they will continue coming back and, giving access to the profile, and you can continue kind of using them in your ads and seeing that revenue come through. So you do really want to make sure that you build that relationship with them. And the best way to do that, I guess, is by letting them kind of do what they do best, and obviously providing a little bit of an insight into what you're after. And I think if you're creating a brief for a creator, I would say, obviously, the product that they're going to push or the collection that they're going to push, any kind of terminology that they're allowed to use or not allowed to use, and then maybe a couple of hook ideas. But apart from that, I would probably say just let them do it.
Cool. And what's in it for the creators? Do they get like a fellow bump because you're putting advertising behind their brand name? Do they get actual cold hard cash? Do they get a percentage of ad spend? What's in it for them?
Yeah, so it depends on the contracts. I think for creators, and this is for creators, whether they're large, over 1 million followers, whether they're mid, which is probably like 40, 50, and then for the smaller creators as well, which is usually around like 5 to 10. So for the smaller creators, I would say it really means more visibility for them. You're putting ad spend behind their profile. So you're getting people's eyes onto their actual profile. So their benefit, I suppose, is actually thinking, well, I could grow my customer base or my follower base here, which is great. For the larger scale influencers, you can have contracts that go down kind of affiliate links and discounts and revenue share and things like that. I guess the most common one that we usually do is just more so around the fact that we will put ad spend behind their profile, so they do see kind of benefits in terms of followers. But again, you can do kind of like discount codes and things like that that you can use and kind of get returned back. So it really just depends on the kind of setup that you're after, and also thinking about where that creator is in terms of their actual kind of like customer profile. Are they probably looking to grow a little bit more, just need that extra boost, or are they kind of looking maybe for a little bit more revenue share or higher costs and things like that?
So my brain's immediately going, oh, so we could do this as like a VIP top customer, customer influencer model, not just a creator influencer model or an influencer model, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and this is where I've seen it work really well. So for something like health and wellness, you've probably got a product that does require a couple of months for it to actually work. So create a little bit of like a story arc behind that. Have one creator try it out from the start. This is my journey. This is where I'm going. And then kind of you can start to show the, I guess, process afterwards. And it just means that there's obviously more involvement kind of coming from them. But it also means that the creator's thinking, great, I've got, 4 months of content or work that's coming up. This is amazing. So it's kind of I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine.
And you mentioned health and wellness there. Are there particular sectors you're seeing it be an absolute no-brainer to give a go to, or, oh dear God, don't even bother?
I would probably say, so we work with e-commerce kind of D2C brands. I would say the ones that we've worked with and it's worked out the best is definitely health and wellness is one. It's a bit of a no-brainer. I would say fashion is a really big one. And one where we've really seen success for is in a higher AOV brand. So they probably have an AOV of about $500 US, based in America.
Wow.
UGC was their nightmare because they're a more premium product. They don't want someone in their bedroom being like, oh my God, this is my unboxing of this really expensive dress. Come try it on with me. Like that was just not their vibe. When we kind of presented the idea of partnership ads to them, they were like, we're not sure about this. But they can actually choose the person that they want to be in that partnership. They know the style of content. So they're probably going for more of the bigger, larger scale creators. And we've probably spent about like 120,000 on partnership ads just over the past 4 months. We've kind of dipped our toes in the water a little bit, but the cost per clicks are much lower than the account average. I think conversion rates are kind of sitting around 1.4% compared to about 1.6%. Given that we're still testing, it's a really positive start. And then the return on ad spend for something like 4.6. So it's proven successful. And it also shows that whether you're a lower AOV or whether you're a higher AOV, no matter what kind of niche your target market is in, there is a creator who is able to present that in the best way possible. So there is an opportunity for partnership ads for kind of any industry, to be honest, as long as you're allowed to run on Meta.
Yeah, that being the ultimate caveat.
That's important, yeah.
I totally get that high-end fashion brand could see this as being, like for the photo shoots, they are selecting the models that represent their brand and represent their customer. So it makes, or the aspirations of their customer. So it makes total sense. But it makes me think of something else, which I think it's easy for people to go, at the moment, a lot of brands have got that creative creation bottleneck in their world of meta ads. You need more creative and they haven't got the means to create it. And this feels like a quick solution, but actually it's not a quick solution because you've clearly got to put the time in selecting the right people, building the right briefs and building those relationships. It's not like you can go, it's not like you're going on Upwork going, create me some videos, people. It's a bit, there is that curating and involvement in the creation process, even though you're not the one doing the editing.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a strategy behind it. And I think the biggest part of it and the first step that anyone should take if they're wanting to look at partnership ads is really understanding who their customer is and who's buying. Not just like, it's Sally from America and she has 3 kids. It's like, why is she buying this product? Like, what are her reasons for purchasing? What are her problems? And what's she trying to solve? Like, it's really delving in and then finding creators that best suit that demographic or that kind of customer profile that is going to get the most out of it. And you'll probably find that you won't just have one kind of customer profile that you go for. It will probably be 5 customer profiles that you have. So in the case of kind of luxury fashion, I suppose what we realized, it was people who were going on holiday, but it was also people who wanted something comfortable to, be at home with kids and things like that. So there were so many different kind of profiles that we could go down. And it meant that in terms of the creators we were looking for, it was someone who was a mum. It was someone who was probably a bit younger and a bit more of like a adventure, holiday seeker. It was probably someone more, corporate. So you kind of want to understand who those customer profiles are, because again, it is an investment at the end of the day and you don't want to kind of put money behind something that might not necessarily work. You really want to make sure that the creator that you're getting is kind of your idea of a person. Like if your person was a brand, it would be that person.
But that's the thing, going back to our talk about, creating the brief earlier. If you found the person who already their content feels like it could be of your brand, of your customer base, then the risk of not giving them a script, of not being overly prescriptive, is so much lower because you've actually found the right person in the first place.
Yeah. And so many brands, like the ways that you can do it doesn't have to be a creator that's got, 100,000 followers. It can be people that work at your company. I know from a kind of business perspective, a lot of people are doing founder style ads through partnership ads. So if your founder has a profile, run partnership ads through that. So there's so many other ways that you can go about it. And I think your employees are the best representation of your brand. You've hired them to represent your brand and they love your brand. So if there's the opportunity to run partnership ads via a kind of employee or whatever it might be, kind of doing behind the scenes, that will just be so powerful. And it doesn't have to be something where you go down kind of the influencer path. It can be something as simple and organic as, Vicky from marketing or something.
And you mentioned with the high-end fashion brand in the US, you'd spent 6 figures on this over the last few months. Is that our starter budget? How much budget do you need to give this a go? And how long should you test it for? Let's add in there as well. Time and money.
Yeah, you don't need 120,000. You don't need that. I think what you would probably do, really depending on how your setup is, what you're prepared to spend, I would probably say start off with about 10 to 20%, but we've had brands that have started 10 to 20% and then they've quickly gone up to about 50% of their ad spend being on partnership ads. So you'll probably find, just be prepared, I guess, to incrementally push that higher. Once you start to see the results come through, you'll probably be more inclined to want to push a little bit higher. But yeah, I would probably say a kind of sweet spot is like 10 to 20%, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever your kind of, return on investment you're hoping for. It all depends on the brand. As far as the actual time it takes, it is so simple. Like, again, you don't need an influencer team, to be working behind the scenes to get all these emails and stuff like that. It can all just be done in Partnership Ads Hub, which is probably the best thing to come out of Meta this past year. I love it. It's also got a creator marketplace. So if you're stuck in terms of who to find and how to find them, creator marketplace is the go-to. It's kind of like your influencer library. And they've even got little points where it's like, these are people who follow your brand that might be good. These are people who are most similar to your follower. Like, they have every kind of like automation and way to make it as simple as possible that you can just go in there, save lists, and start to put together a little bit of a strategy.
And how many influencers should we begin with? Is creating one influencer ad, partnership ad, going to be enough to test it? Or do we need to be, kind of trying out 10 different influencers or 5 different influencers to really get a feel of this? What's your good starting off point?
Yeah, so we would always recommend to, I guess, run a fair test. If you're kind of only focusing on maybe just one influencer and it doesn't work out, that's where brands most often go, oh, it didn't work. Like, we're not going to do it again. Give yourself the chance to kind of like test out a couple. You might have a couple of different demographics. It might be a brand that responds well to male and female. So have a male and female influencer. And then from there, have a couple of different, I guess, like hooks or speaking strategies, storytelling strategies that you can go down that can then test that particular influencer a little bit more. So I would say, as long as you're not pigeonholing yourself just to, this ad didn't work, so I'm just never going to do it again, making sure that you're giving it the best chance of success. And I would say, like any kind of testing, give it a good couple months, 3 months to kind of get an understanding and delve a little bit deeper. And you'll probably find that you'll be able to expand it a little bit from there.
Love that. Okay, Christina, I feel like we've covered the whole of everything people need to know to get started with partnership ads. But is there anything we've missed or any final thought you've got on that before we head into the insider tips?
Oh, I just think have as much flexibility as possible. We're seeing such great results come through on partnership ads. Our Meta rep talks about it a lot. And when Meta talks about it a lot, it usually means it's something worth testing. So give it a go, start to put together your kind of creator profiles and your target markets, and then just start exploring on the Partnership Ads Hub and also the creator marketplace, and you'll get a really good understanding of where to go to next.
Love that. Okay, Christina, it's been brilliant picking your brains about partnership ads. Clearly a creative strategy on Meta that we all desperately need to know about. So thank you for sharing so much about it. Listeners, make sure you stay tuned right to the end of the episode because you don't want to miss out on Christina's insider tips and my suggestions for other ways we can help you improve things even further in your businesses.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Okay, Christina, so far we've gone deep into partnership ads. Now you get to wow us all with your insider knowledge about the whole of meta ads. So for the following questions, your answer can be anything to do with meta ads, which of course includes everything we've already been talking about. Christina, are you ready for these?
I think so, yeah.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
Know your customer. I think that's the main thing. And I know I've been speaking about it a lot. Just know who you're selling to. Whether you're starting partnership ads or whether you're starting meta ads, knowing who your customer is, why they're buying, raison d'etre, just know who they are. I think as long as you have that, then everything will make more sense.
Wise words indeed. Now, once you've started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favorite way to improve performance?
I think just get every single idea out. Like when you're optimizing an account, when you're thinking of the next strategy, just word vomit onto a piece of paper, if you're old school, or your Google Doc or whatever it might be. Just understanding where you're at and what ideas could come from it. And really in terms of it, just do not stop testing. I think that's the main thing. I'm not saying throw everything at it and hope something sticks. I think just be comfortable to go a little bit beyond the norm and test the waters outside of your usual kind of process or way of doing it. So as long as you do that, there will be something that will, I guess, gravitate to a particular buyer, and then you'll be able to kind of have that snowball effect from there.
Brilliant. Okay. If someone listening wants to learn more, is there a cheap or free resource you would recommend?
So I would always have to recommend Webtopia's own newsletter. So we've got an incredible marketing team that work in-house who do interviews with all of our team members and then some really exciting clients. So Beyond the Clicks is the newsletter. So it's just www.webtopia.co/newsletter. So check it out because that's where I get all my tips from.
Excellent. Hot off the press from the Webtopia agency team and clients.
Oh, no, not biased.
Love it. Okay. Finally, crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
Is it weird to mention Black Friday? Because
No,
I know it's
never
May.
weird. It's
I
never
know
weird.
but I can feel people's eyes rolling through the camera and everything. But Black Friday, it's May. But Black Friday, if you start testing partnership ads now, you will have a really good idea of how your Black Friday or what strategy your Black Friday should have. Partnership ads are the cheapest way to run ads, and Black Friday is the most expensive time to run ads. So you put 2 and 2 together, just give it a go. You're crazy if you don't give it a go. So because they expand reach, because they're super organic, I just reckon test them now so that when Black Friday rolls around, you know what kind of hooks, you know what creator to use. You kind of set yourself up for success. So that's my crystal ball. I think Black Friday is going to be exciting, but what got you from A to B isn't going to get you from B to C. And I think this might get you from B to C.
I could not agree with you more. It's almost like in e-commerce, what's the point of Q1? Q1, you do all your results. From Q4. Q2 and Q3, you test your creative and you build your audiences for Black Friday, Christmas. That's what we're doing here, people. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So I completely agree. Now is the time to be finding the creators who work well with you, working out, what hooks are working, building the audiences, educating the algorithm. Now is the time. Completely agree with you. So definitely on my watch, 100% not too early to be talking about
Right.
Black Friday.
Glad you agree. I'm glad you agree.
Oh, I completely agree. And that's brilliant advice. Christina, we are very nearly at the end of the episode now. So could you please let the listeners know where they can find you and Team Webtopia?
Yes. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Christina Bell, but Team Webtopia, www.webtopia.co/free-growth-plan. So what you can actually do if you're ready to take that next step, fill out the form, get in touch with one of our team members and we can chat to you about what we can do for you. Obviously get you prepped for Black Friday. But also I would really recommend signing up to the newsletter Beyond the Cleats, because that's where you'll be able to get all the information you could possibly need to get started.
Marvelous. And we will make sure links to both the newsletter and the free growth plan are on our website. So that'll be really easy for you all to access. Christina, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And I feel like you've taken the best thing in your war chest and shown us all of it. And it's like very, 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 very cool of you to share this with us, because it's clearly a strategy everybody needs to be getting their heads around and giving a go to. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It's been great.
Well, if any of you have listened to that and thought, no, this is clearly not something I need to test. I don't need a lower cost per click and a better ROAS and some really interesting creative that resonates with my target audience, then message me on LinkedIn. Send me a DM on LinkedIn, because I'm struggling to think of any e-commerce brand, D2C brand, who wouldn't benefit from testing this out. So cool for Christina to share all that detail with us today, going into how we can set ourselves up for success with this, understanding our customer, finding the right people to create it, maybe bringing our team in, getting them involved in this program, maybe recruiting from our own customer base, how to then brief them with that, what sort of hooks work for us, maybe 2 or 3 you give them, tell them what you want them to talk about, but don't script them. Go through the sign-off process, put those ad lives, add them into your existing campaigns, and then see how the results go and see how those budgets shift. Really, really cool new strategy in the world of Meta now. I can completely see why she was saying that this new dashboard, new area within Business Manager is one of the best things Meta have done in the last 12 months. You can get the links to all those things we discussed, the full transcript of the episode, our notes and more at keepoptimizing.com. You can also use our special direct episode short links. That is keepopt.com/the number of this episode. And that will take you straight through to the correct page on the website. When you get there, you can also add yourself to our email list. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, then do check out episode 306 with Team 4X Digital AI, where we're getting deep into hook optimization. So if you're listening to this going, I don't know what a hook is, that's cool. You're allowed to not know what a hook is, but you should listen to episode 306 to find out what a hook is, how you can measure their success, and therefore optimize that and hold rates as well. Really cool episode, the one immediately before this one. You can also find our full thread of Meta Ads content with lots of more creative advice by either scrolling up your feed or use the short link keepopt.com/meta to go to that on the website. And have a great week, but also please tell your fellow marketers about this show, because I know how critical Meta Ads are to so many of your businesses. And we're putting these 5 episodes together to help you improve your Meta Ads performance. And this is exactly the right time of year to be working on it. So please do share this, because we want to help as many marketers as possible to improve the performance of their e-commerce marketing. Now, have a great week and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.